I really enjoyed the Tollymore Country Park, so I actually went back for a second day and then spent the night here by this little stream. Last night's overnight was down in that valley, sort of straight ahead. And it rained all morning, but now it's cleared and I've decided to come up here. I'm not going to be going very far up here because it looks pretty blinking steep. Look at that though, how beautiful. Also, of course, the hazard is being on your own. You have to be slightly careful just in case something goes wrong. But what beautiful views. And below me is a stream. And this morning I collected the water from there and heated it up. So I've had a lovely bucket shower and washed my hair. Okay, so I lied. I ended up walking up to the top of the mountain and look at the view. And up here you've got the Mourne Wall. It's 22 miles long. And look at that. Just goes straight up that hill. It covers 15 peaks. There's the wall again. And it was built between 1904 and 1921. It's about 1.5 metres high and not quite a metre wide. Just amazing. And it was to keep, another bit of it there, look, to keep the livestock out of the catchment area for the Silent Valley Reservoir. Just incredible. Never even knew it existed. I had a very peaceful night at Spelga Reservoir and the sunset was gorgeous, but the next day the fog was so thick you couldn't even see the reservoir behind the van. It's just there. That's the reservoir coming into view. So I thought I'd show you this lay-by where I stayed last night. Yeah, it was interesting. I had a really rubbish day yesterday. First place I went to gas was at Ross Trevor and they had no LPG. So I then drove up to Banbridge to the lakeside country place and filled up with LPG and noticed this lay-by. I drove from here to Tesco and got some food and then I came back to this lay-by because by then it was 6 o'clock and it'd been absolutely bucketing with rain all day. It was dark really early. The drive over from Ross Trevor to Banbridge was horrendous. Narrow roads, tractors, mud, puddles, poor visibility, you name it. So by the time it was 6 o'clock, I was absolutely shattered. So I decided to come to this lay-by. Well, that was not a good decision. So there was a few cars when I drove in, but there was also 2 HGVs, and I always feel a bit safer when they're around. So I parked up and was just doing my thing. And then about, 8 o'clock-ish, there was this, I say lad, but anyway, there was a young lad, I assume, on this motorbike that sounded like an angry hornet, just going up and down, up and down, up and down. So anyway, I turned some music on and ignored her. And then at 10 o'clock, I took the dog out for a wee. Well, of course, when you unlock the van, the orange lights flash to acknowledge you've unlocked it. So I unlock the van, the lights flash, put the dog on the verge, she has a wee, get back in the van, lock the van, the lights flash. So anyway, I don't think I better put something on the front seat. I'm not sure what it was, but I think I'll just put it out of the way on the front seat, which I did. And I see this dark figure in front of my van. So I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? So I turned all the exterior lights on. Luckily I've got lights on all 4 panels. So I turned all the lights on and then I turned the lights off inside the van. I sort of peeked out and after about 5 minutes I could see this man get back in his car, which was in front of me, and he must have sat there for about another hour because I did keep peeking out before he drove off. So yeah, I think I was definitely in a doggy lay-by, and I think somebody got the wrong idea with all the flashing lights. Anyway, this is where I am. There's sort of a little lock and there's the signboards, so that was quite funny because when I came down this morning these were so green you couldn't see anything. So I got a little scrubby thing out of the van and a bottle of water, and rather than litter pick this lay-by because I'd be here all day, I've scrubbed these off and found out that there was Neolithic and Bronze Age stuff discovered here. But yeah, so yeah, if you come to LBG at the Lakeside Country Stores I think it was, don't be tempted to spend the night in a sleigh-by unless of course you're that way inclined, in which case, yeah, fine. So the only upside was this morning I felt absolutely shattered because I probably slept with one eye open, although I had all my door chains and my sliding door chain on last night. But yeah, I probably slept with one eye open, so feeling a bit shattered this morning. So I've put up loads of hooks and now my back is better. I've, as you'll see in a minute, I've also run the diagnostics on my fridge that packed up working for the second time back in February, and discovered I need a new thermostat. But yeah, it's a gorgeous day, and probably the worst park up I've had in Ireland, not just because of what happened, but it's not particularly pretty, mainly because of the litter and all the comings and goings. There's still a lot of activity. I don't know if you can see it, there's two vans, but actually round that corner quite often there's been cars coming and going and people going out and then going back to their cars. Now, they could be dog walkers, but it's funny because I haven't seen any dogs. And the only one I've seen is that car that was down in front of me a minute ago with the white one. But up that end I've been peering out the back window and I have not seen any dogs. And the other thing is, it's been nearly all men. So yeah, I think it's a dodgy lay-by. So yesterday was pants and I ended up in a dogging lay-by overnight, with boy racers as well, just to add to the fun. So this morning I'm feeling a little bit jaded, so I've done a few bits around the van, including what I've needed to do for ages. So my fridge has stopped working and I have a diagnostic kit back in February. And then when I was going to do it, I actually put my back out. So what with lack of confidence on my part and not being able to get on the floor anyway, so today I finally managed it. So this here is now bypassing, I think it's the thermostat, but anyway, since putting that on, this big lumpy thing here, compressor or whatever it is, has started working and the fridge has gone down to freezer. Now when the converted this van, they put the fridge in this cupboard along with that heating pipe and gave it two vents. But the problem was, A, it sat over the vents quite low, so you can see I've had some bits put in to raise the fridge, and B, obviously it's got a heating pipe in there and nowhere for the air to get out, completely sealed, contrary to the fitting instructions. So I then paid to have a hole cut in here to put this vent in. So now, at least with convection, which I think we all learnt about at school, apart from the converters of course, the heat can now rise and get out the top. But in the process, just look at this plumbing. I mean, that is unbelievable. So hot and cold come in. Obviously hot and cold are supposed to go up to the sink and hot and cold are supposed to go to the shower. Yeah, I mean, it defies description really, doesn't it? So that is my plumbing. And then, and I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but not only that, when they put the sink in, they didn't seal it. So I don't know if you can see that. If not, I'll take some photos somewhere. But basically, where the sink wasn't sealed in, despite me being really, really careful, water has leaked and started turning the wood black. Anyway, I'm now going to get back on the website and talk to Vitrafrigo, and I guess I need a new thermostat, and I suspect it is because the fridge was overheating back in the winter when I had 24-hour heating on at a campsite. I suspect it is because the fridge was unable to breathe. We've now rectified that, but I think the damage has been done. So yeah, going to be an interesting one. I'll keep you posted on that one, and I'll add some photos of the other things I've been up to today. And I'm definitely finding somewhere quiet to sleep tonight, with no boy racers and hopefully no dodgy men standing outside my van thinking I flashed at them. This little escapade looking for gas has thrown me completely off course, so I give up and head to Ardglass and do my laundry. Ardglass is quite a pretty little port with a tower house called
Jordan's Castle. Unfortunately, they won't let you stay overnight, so I decided to head up to Currans, where you can stay overnight in exchange for a meal. Had a fantastic meal, but unfortunately, like so many places, there was just nowhere to walk the dog. Again, really nowhere to walk the dog apart from up and down a short stretch of beach. I'm really missing my footpaths in Ireland. They're just not the same as England, where we can walk all over the place. Then drove to this loch, which is not on park for night, and you can walk partly around the lake on both sides. I'll leave you to guess where I'm headed next, but here's a little clue. Let's show everyone how much you've improved. Come on in, up, up. Good boy.